we're really looking at the overall use case. We're not in a rush to be first. We're more than happy to let others take the lead if that's what they want to do in rushing a device out. But for us, we really want to focus on making a great user experience, making that innovation accessible, and really ushering in a new age for mobile devices.
Welcome to the TCL universe. I say universe because I could literally live here right now. There's a little bit of everything for everyone. There's toothbrushes, there's phones, there's phones. Did I say phones? That's why we have Jason Gerdon here. He's the head of global communications and strategy for TCL to announce the latest addition to the TCL family, and that is?
TCL Plex.
And that's what you have in your hand.
This is what I have here. So this is our Opal Black. We also have a nice white edition as well, so 2 different flavors. We've done some really interesting things on the CMF, but I think what makes this most interesting device is the simple fact that it says TCL on the back of it, and that's our first globally launched TCL smartphone that is going to be part of a new TCL portfolio of mobile devices.
So this is the Firstborn.
Yes.
And then we'll see many siblings from here. But give us a little background first. You said this is the first TCL branded phone. But before this was what?
So we've been making mobile phones, smartphones for quite some time. Most popular probably are Alcatel devices, as well as our BlackBerry devices. And we also make Palm devices. So we have really a comprehensive portfolio of mobile products, but we've really never had a TCL branded mobility devices in our portfolio, and certainly not something in more the premium tier. BlackBerry and Palm are very kind of niche devices for very specific use cases, and Alcatel is a very popular brand, but very much more of the entry space. Think sub $200, $250 type devices, where now with TCL Plex and some other TCL devices that we'll be launching after this, we'll definitely be looking at more of the premium segment.
So for consumers at home who are watching this and who may not know the background of TCL's experience in smartphones, this is their first look into what a TCL smartphone would be like. What can they expect?
Well, with something like TCL Plex and even what we're working on with some of our TCL foldable devices or our Project Archery wearable display, we're really focused on entertainment. We're really focused on the overall consumption of content on your device, right? Nowadays, everybody is consuming different types of media on their device, whether it's videos or movies, music, podcasts, etc. And this is really what we want to focus on. Our heritage is really as a panel manufacturer. We're one of the top panel manufacturers in the world. We have amazing TVs. And now we're bringing that technology into our own branded handsets and really focusing on a great display experience, a great camera experience. This actually has 3 cameras on it on the back.
I saw that.
And a really beautiful front-facing camera as well. So again, just really on this display greatness moment that we say.
And speaking of displays, you have a proprietary display solution. Tell us about the NXT Vision. Well, that's hard to say.
Yeah. So what we've done beyond just a TCL-made display and our Dotch display to really make that viewing experience immersive, we actually have what we call TCL Next Vision. And Next Vision is really unique for us because not only did we add a hardware component, a display engine that helps optimize that video consumption, but we also added different software layers to this to really make this LCD display one of the absolute best that you can get in this price segment.
Well, it is interesting coming from most smartphone manufacturers. They'll talk about the size of the display, the screen, the megapixels, but you're talking about this comprehensively, the display as well, the hardware as well as the software.
Exactly, and for us it's not just comprehensive in just the smartphone, but it's the smartphone as part of the central hub of the larger TCL ecosystem of consumer electronic devices that you see here in our little bit of the world that we've taken over here at IFA.
Yeah, and in addition to our Firstborn here, the Plex, I saw over there in a display a foldable phone as a prototype.
Yeah.
And that seems to be on trend with everything we're seeing at IFA this year and also at Mobile World Congress, at CES. These foldable screens are all the rage. Where's TCL going with that?
So yeah, as one of the leading display manufacturers in the world, this is right in our wheelhouse. This is our chance to show what we can do from an innovation standpoint. And so at Mobile World Congress, we announced Dragon Hinge, which was our mechanical solution to house our flexible AMOLED display. Here at IFA, we have the Butterfly Hinge, which is another hinge system, and they both complement each other and allow us to really think about that overall user experience and use case for a foldable device. Because for us, it's not just about making a foldable smartphone, but what could it be for a foldable tablet or a foldable and mobile computing, maybe some sort of home IoT device, even a foldable wearable, right? So we're really looking at the overall use case. We're not in a rush to be first. We're more than happy to let others take the lead if that's what they want to do in rushing a device out. But for us, we really want to focus on making a great user experience, making that innovation accessible, and really ushering in a new age for mobile devices.
You're not interested in being the first, and I want to highlight that a little bit too, because obviously you're not the first with smartphones. A little, mature into the game here, but you are able to observe what other people have done and just do it better this time. So there are some advantages to entering just a little bit later in the game.
Yeah, and again, for us, it's we really saw three major challenges in foldables. Obviously, first is the display. We have that expertise. Our engineers, our R&D teams worked vigorously on that, and they're still working on that. Next was the mechanical housing, which is why we have Dragon Hinge and now Butterfly Hinge. But the third part of it really is the software, and that's the other key component to making a foldable experience great. And the bit of a catch-22 is it's not just as simple as normal Android software that you would put on a traditional smartphone, because you're talking about aspect ratios that are all over the place. How does the software work when you have multiple folds? Even something as simple as where do you put the virtual keyboard when you have a foldable device that's open, depending on the orientation. So these are things that we're being really thoughtful and deliberate about. We want to get that right. So again, when we put this in the hands of a consumer, they have an amazing experience and they can not have to think so much about using their device. They can just enjoy it.
And back to the Plex, how long was this in R&D before it became public?
The development process wasn't actually that long for us, but it's something that we've been planning for some time in terms of a TCL brand rollout. We've been going through a bit of a transition internally as a company in terms of just structuring all of our consumer electronics business units into one cohesive group. That was kind of the first step that needed to happen. We got there, and IFA became just the right time for us to be able to now introduce Plex and have this be really a brand launch more than a product launch as we go into now the much bigger portfolio with some really exciting things to come at CES and Mobile World Congress in 2020 and beyond.
And if you remember our videos from IFA last year when we spoke to someone here at TCL, they said something key for us, which was we're more than just TVs. And I think for most people when it comes to TCL brand recognition, it is about the TVs, the nice, beautiful displays that you put in your homes. But now you're able to have a TCL TV in the palm of your hands, basically. And that's the beauty of this launch.
Yeah, that's essentially it, right? It's being able to have this entire ecosystem of products and focus on where we have a strength and just be able to introduce now new technologies under one umbrella that hopefully people will start to recognize more and more as we continue to roll this brand launch out.
And as you mentioned the ecosystem, how does the Plex fit into the ecosystem?
Well, like most any smartphones, this is the central thing to our everyday lives now. And we really want our TCL mobile devices to be that. So as the TCL ecosystem of products builds out, as we have more IoT devices, TVs, other white goods and consumer electronics products, we really want to have the TCL handset be the central piece of that.
So it's the brains of the operation.
A bit, yeah. We want this to be the controller. And that's what we're working on. We actually even have software already on Plex to work with your smart TV. So whether you're using an Android-based smart TV or a Roku-based smart TV, we have TCast on our phone that will actually work with all of it. So again, this becomes that more integral part to how you can interact with the smart home.
Now the Plex was announced here at IFA in 2019, but another product that was launched is the wearable geared towards seniors.
Yes.
That's kind of a surprise product. Why did you choose to launch that here at IFA?
one, our wearable business is quite strong here in Europe, so that was a bit of the focus. And two, we actually saw a need for a wearable device that was targeted towards seniors. We obviously have a lot of wearables out there and a lot of fitness trackers out there, but none of them really serve the senior market quite targeted. And let's face it, the senior population across the globe is growing. And so having something that is targeted towards them, specific for them, also can provide some peace of mind that we saw as a great opportunity. And so here we have the Move Time Family Watch.
And that's exactly what I was saying with the TCL universe we've created. We got multi-generational products for anyone in your family. Now, looking back at smartphones and with the launch with the Plex, what do you think is the secret recipe to making a marketable smartphone that people will buy, especially if you don't have the legacy of making smartphones with your own brand?
Yeah, so a bit of that is just the ecosystem, right? Helping folks understand that, one, the innovation that's in the device, two, making that innovation accessible, and really focusing on the simple fact that this can tie into everything else that you have in your home. So whether you're buying one of our great affordable TVs or one of our other IoT devices, smart locks, wearables, what have you, you can now have a great smartphone experience that really works together with all of that. And yeah, it's about, again, just affordable innovation, accessible innovation. And for us, that's really core at everything that we do. We want to make really amazing, beautiful products, but they have to be accessibly priced. And that's something that's really important to us, so that everybody has a chance to own a great piece of technology.
And this is just a theory of mine, but in the US, people tend to change their phone brands a little bit less because they're tied to a carrier. But here, like let's say in Europe or in Asia, people tend to change their phones quite a bit because they're not tied to a carrier. So it does make more sense to launch it here in Europe, doesn't it?
Yeah, so we'll start with the Plex launch with some select markets here in Europe and then in Asia. But really, we're aiming to bring out many more products quite quickly, which will allow us to, maybe not with Plex, but with other devices, be more targeted in which products we bring to which markets, and make the TCL brand of smartphones available in more countries.
So what is missing in this portfolio right now? I'm like seeing a little bit of everything, but what is that one product that is missing?
I wouldn't say we have one product necessarily missing, but we're definitely really excited about what's going on with our foldables and 5G as well. We are working on 5G. We have a great partnership actually already with China Mobile, working on a 5G terminal device in China. We will have a 5G smartphone in 2020. We're going to have a foldable in 2020. That we think is going to be the year for both of those products. And so I would say stay tuned for those. That's going to be the really exciting stuff to hear from us, as well as some other things. So like I said, very packed CES and MWC to come up next year, and even more to come at IFA 2020.
Amazing, and because we'll definitely be there covering it all. Now here's my little ideal list of products that could be here for TCL. One is a Razr scooter.
Okay.
Or a scooter. It's not a Razr scooter, it's a TCL scooter. And another one will be a robot, just like a nice made robot.
I will definitely let our engineers know. They would love to have some more things to play with, let me tell you.
My wish list. I'm finally putting it out there. Thank you so much, Jason. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.